Really need a haircut. I'm wearing the hat right now, not because I need it, because like it's not really that sunny. I mean, you could tell in the video. The more sunny the video is, the clearer the picture it becomes, because this shitty ass iPhone camera. But I am looking horrible up in this region. I don't know if you. Let's just see if we can go up top. Yeah, I don't grow hair because I'm balding like a motherfucker. And I look horrible with hair. And like, I want to shave my beard off, but at the same time, that every girlfriend ever had loved the beard, and it looks good when I keep it trimmed up. But I just recently, I go through peaks and valleys all the damn time, and I'm going up a mountain right now, peaking, and like, I don't know how long this mountain's gonna be or how tall this mountain is, but. But it's going up right now. Good. This is what I live with. Whoa, shit! Look at this, mom. I don't know if the camera can even pick this up. Let's see if we can. This is a huge ass spider web. I don't think the camera can pick it up, but. Because it's so fine. But man, that's motherfucking, that's Quaylag. Quaylag is starting her domain right there. But let's go and get this walk started. My question is, which redneck drinks Yingling and then throws it out in litters? It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, look, wait. Coffee cup is still here. It kind of lets you know how peaceful these back roads are. I wonder whose coffee cup that is. It's been there since day one. It's day 83, and there's been about probably 87 or so days past. I think I missed 5 days in total so far. And I don't know. Part of me wanted to talk about Adrian Peterson on the day's walk. But I feel like if I talked about it off the top of my head, I would say something stupid. And I feel like that deserves a video on itself. But I'll kind of talk about it for the most part. And I'm going to try to do a video tomorrow to go a little bit more in depth with my thoughts and have more laid out. For those of you who are unaware, which is nobody, Adrian Peterson is a running back for the Minnesota Vikings. And he apparently beat his 4-year-old boy, or step boy, beat a 4-year-old boy with a switch. Coming from the South, I looked at this and thought, so what? And trust me, I am not a abuser of any way. I don't even use abuse to train dogs. Every dog we have has got nothing but love in his heart. I mean, I used a shock collar on Chevy like twice, and it realized he didn't give a shit. I gave up, and it's been sitting in the living room ever since. And the only reason we used a shock collar on Chevy is because we didn't want him jumping on people, and it didn't work, so fuck it. But in result, the first question I'd have to ask was how big the switch is. Like, for example, coming from the South, we got our ass beat. You know, something like this, you know, you skin this off, this is going to hurt. This is going to break the skin, and, yeah, you know, you grab it on the other end, you grab it on the thin end, and you go to town and you whoop that cherry ass. That hurts. Because when I was a little boy, we had to pick our switches. Our grandpa used to make me pick the switch. I did something wrong. I remember one time I shot him with a BB gun. I didn't mean to, but I just got it. It was a Daisy BB gun, and I was shooting at cans on a picnic table, and I didn't take into account of anything behind him. Keep in mind, I was 5, and I remember it because I had to go pick a switch. And he always told me, if you don't pick a good switch, I'm going to pick the switch. And I was scared about him picking that switch. So I had to walk out there and had to take my happy ass over there and pick me a switch out. I'm not going to go over here and pick a switch out because, you know, fucking water and snakes and shit. But I had to do it. Granted, I want to do this in a more laid out commentary when I have more time to look at the facts and stuff. Apparently, he had beat him so bad that it left a mark on his scrotum. It could be a mark. It could be busted his scrotum wide open. Who knows? It could be people overreacting. I'm just going to put this fact out there. Regardless of what it is, if Ray Rice was a garbage man, not Ray Rice, that's the guy who beat his woman, that lambasted him. If Adrian Peterson was a garbage man, if Adrian Peterson was the milkman, if he was delivering chips for Frito-Lay, hell, if he was a police officer, he'd still have a job. But because he is an entertainment figurehead, we have to hold him to a higher standard because he's physically fit and capable of playing football. And like I said before, I don't know how bad he beat him. I literally don't. I'm taking this into account that he switched his butt and it left a mark, which was pretty much the goal of every switching I've ever had. They all left marks. Every one of them. I was talking to Brooke about this, and Brooke said his daddy used to take him, put his head between his legs, and take a hickory stick and beat him until they fell down. Like literally his legs would come out from under him from pain. I've had those. I mean, I had my grandfather beat me across the back with a metal arrow one time. I mean, I guess, and I'm not even that old. I'm pushing 30 at this point. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I just think it's bullshit that this is on TV. I think it's bullshit that a beer company doesn't want to put their name next to a child abuser or a supposed child abuser. I think the fact that this is on TV will hurt that child more than that ass cutting ever did. But that's just me. And the fact is, a alcohol company, a company that sells drugs, doesn't want to sponsor a football team, which is a game, of a guy who decided to cut his kid's ass. I might be redneck, I might be southern, and I don't know all the facts. But man, oh man. My first question was like, what did he beat him with, a sword? Because down in the South, ass cuttings are a way of life. I don't know a guy up here that didn't get an ass cut. I don't. I don't know anybody that lived in the South that didn't grow up with an ass cutting. If you grew up without an ass cutting, you didn't live in the South. That's just the samples. But I don't know. Make him out to be an evil man. He might be an evil man. But if it's just a simple ass cutting that left a mark, and like I understand it hit his scrotum and all, but I don't know. I'm not going to defend that. I mean, you could be like, maybe the kid was struggling, maybe he was trying to get away. Adrian Peterson's obviously a very well-shaped guy, and a lot of people are holding that against him. And maybe, maybe you get fed up with shit. But what's the difference between that and going to Eckerd's or going to Walmart and see these motherfuckers snatch the kid up by the arm out the buggy because they're unhappy with what they're doing? I'd rather have an ass cut than have my arm pulled out of socket. Let me know what you guys think. I'll check with you in a minute. Another beautiful thing I get to see every day on this walk is I get to see what giving up leads to. I'm going to move out the way right now, but a person lives in this place behind me. There's a house back there, and that's her front yard. It makes me sad though. I don't have much big camera life left. I kind of left with 35%, and then I started listening to YouTube videos. I listened to some old Avenged Sevenfold. Tell you a little bit about myself. If you ever see my YouTube comments, you know that they're vicious. And a lot of people like, well, don't read them. And I pretty much don't. I glance at them because I feel like if I don't read them, I get out of touch, and I do. I'm more likely to stay in touch with YouTube when I'm in touch with the fan base. Well, I only like to call it fan base. When I get in touch with people that want to follow me. Because to call it a fan base means I do something that excels in entertaining, but I don't. But I have to disagree with something in the comments. And this is something that I use all the time to spur my own self on. It's quick and it's easy for somebody to point at you and be like, look at that flaw right there. That's easy. I do it all the fucking time. It takes nothing. You're not an observationalist. You're not smart. It's easy to see mistakes after they've been made. Very easy. It's hard to see people fixing mistakes. And one of the things that really got me down a few times over the last year or so was people would point at the downward trend of my channel and be like, Wings is a failure. I disagree with you, dude. I made a video probably about a week or so ago, and they said, I said I wanted to maybe try to go back and be a paramedic. Reason behind it for me was I'm a very good learner. I learn and I pick up things quickly. I'm a person that can be self-taught, obviously, and there's a tractor coming. And with all that being said, people said that I couldn't handle school, that I was a failure and a quitter, and I can understand where their point of view comes from. But I also understand that they don't see everything in my life. And I'm just going to point out situations that I can see. During my period on YouTube, I've lost 50 pounds twice. During my period on YouTube, I've took a channel that started out with no monetary success. There was no field in it. And I helped pioneer it. When I got into podcasting, I helped put together one of the biggest podcasts on the internet. So big that other podcasters that are well known come on the show, like Anthony Cumia. You know, we had people like Sage Francis. We had one of the Lost episodes. We had a guy from Arrested Development come on. We almost had Hodor on. So my YouTube channel was a great success. It's not a success right now, but if you look at Friends by their last season, they weren't a success either. You don't do that. You judge it by the high point. The high point of my channel was the success. Podcast, success. Before I did YouTube, I worked at a place called MetGlass, and I did a job that nobody said. Let me tell you something about that job. I did MetGlass. When they put me into the job, they did it as a joke. I applied for the job, and they go, this guy would never make it. Let's get rid of him. He'll never be able to do the job. And I know this because my boss, man, Tim Skipper, he told me it on a boat. We ended up having, about 2 years later, we ended up having a little party after work with all the melters, and we got on my buddy Andy's boat. He has like a houseboat on the river. And Tim goes, man, I lost $15 on you because Tim betted against me lasting more than a day. And I think the longest somebody had me last was a week. And I spent 6 years on that melt deck. That's a success. And I worked at Domino's. I wasn't just a regular delivery driver. I was a delivery driver / crew chief. That's a success. Everything I've ever attempted to do, at some point I've been a success in. And to say that every failing and every time, even to say weight loss isn't a success, I'm not through yet, motherfucker. I'm not. I might not lose weight this year. I might not lose weight next year. I might not lose weight in my 30s. One day I'm going to be skinny. It's going to happen. You know why? Because I do not want to live the rest of my life fat. That's why. And if you've ever seen me do anything, play a video game, if I'm passionate about it, I'll eventually master it. I sucked at Dark Souls. I was the worst Dark Souls player you could probably watch on YouTube for about a week. But week 3, I did a Let's Play. And I died 3 times during the entire Let's Play. I've played Dark Souls about 2 months now, and I've done a Soul Level 1 run. I can beat the game almost blindfolded at this point. Eventually, I'm going to hit that point with weight loss. I'm struggling right now. But that's the thing with struggles. They eventually end. I had a buddy talk to me just the other day. His name was Jason. Different Jason I talked about the other day. There's 2 different Jasons. But he's a crisis manager. His job is to talk to people that have hit rock bottom with drugs, life in general, and to assess them. And he told me the only time people make real change isn't from support. It isn't because it's what they think they should do. It's because they have no other choice. And I can tell you honestly, I'm at the point where I have no other choice. I have 2 paths in life I can walk on. I can give up and be like that house I showed you earlier. Just a shrew of a man living off $600 worth of disability. Fat, lonely, depressed, eating myself until my stomach burst. Or I can lose the weight, become a member of society again, find a woman, have something for myself, and do things I've always wanted to do. Like this one, for example. When I bought the white Ford, I really, really, really much rather would have took some money and went and got my dream car. My dream car is a 1970 Dodge Challenger with a 440. Cliche, I know. But I knew I had one picked out. It was 2 states over and wanted 11 grand for it. Wasn't in good shape, but it ran. And it was the color I wanted too, white. It was a rusty white, but it was white. And I decided not to buy it because I had the money. And I decided to go get a truck because I couldn't drive it. I could not literally get in that car and drive it because they didn't have tilt steering wheels. The seats didn't move back and forth. No power pedals. I was too fat to drive it. And that was one of the things that stuck with me. That'll probably haunt me the rest of my life. So, yeah. To say I'm going to be a failure my whole life would say that I've been a failure. I've not been a failure, dude. I've succeeded at most things I've put my mind to.